Well, all right. 3 cheers for Stephen Phillips.
Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks. We're coming into you sideways this morning. Y'all better buckle up, put your seatbelt on, because we got a good show today. We got Sarah Beth Terry with us. Good morning, young lady.
Good morning. How in the world's the weather in Georgia?
Well, it ain't bad at all down here. I guarantee you. It's about right. Yep.
Short sleeve weather.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all are lucky. I'm layered up and I'm holding off letting the chickens out so we have some peace on our interview this morning, because usually they're right up on the porch with me.
There you go. Hey, we've had Sarah Beth on. It's been a long time since she's been on, but anyway, she's a singer-songwriter. We've had her on with that, and stand-up comedian, and she has got the what was it, Charlie Kirk?
Like Charlie
song, man. Yeah. Absolutely. She sang on Fox and Friends. I mean, absolutely. If y'all have not seen that, you need, or heard that, you need to listen to it. But anyway, we're glad you're here. We got Loophole over here next to us. This is Loophole. I hadn't introduced.
Well, hello. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you, Sarah Beth.
Well, he's a lawyer. Yeah.
Well, good. Now I passed the bar, but I'm not a practicing lawyer.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I passed the bar.
It's the only bar I've ever passed in my entire career. But my best friend was trying to be a criminal attorney, and she said, I'm terrified to take this test by myself. And I said, well, I'll go.
Yeah.
And so she paid the whatever it was, $170, whatever, and I was hungover. But I got a really high score, and Vanderbilt called and said, do you want to practice law? And I was like, no, I barely follow the law. I don't want to practice it. I just need to know enough about the law to stay my rear end out of the law, you know?
Hey, Loophole has got a 98% conviction rate.
That's true.
Nice. Well, then me and you need to talk later, because I got a couple people on a list. I need to make sure that they go where they need to go.
Well, he's a defense attorney.
Yeah.
Well, he can defend me. I'll blame it on menopause.
Yeah, that'll work.
That'll get you off edge.
Lack of estrogen, mental instability, whatever, you know. She was out of cigarettes. You know, we didn't know what to do. And she just went crazy.
That would be a loophole right there.
Yeah.
I was out of cigarettes.
You're out
of cigarettes.
Yeah.
I blame Obama. I mean, just because, you know. He's the one that started threatening the menthols. And I was like, you're picking on the wrong crowd with menthols there, bud. You need to back out.
You know, I've been looking into that Epstein thing, man. They got that code word beef jerky. I think that's Michelle Obama.
Oh, now see, I think that she was actually in the original Celtics lineup before Michael Jordan's rookie year, but that's just my personal conspiracy theory. I think her and Larry Bird, pretty sure that they were teammates. I'm about 100% sure on that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%. Then we got Pat Malone here with us. He's the only one in the room that's not a Christian. He's a polygamist, right? Polygamist. Am I saying that?
Don't believe a word he says, Sarah Beth.
Well, you know, I trust but verify. I live by the Ronald Reagan rule, and I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist. I consider myself a conspiracy actualist.
There you go.
Yeah, you do.
The difference between conspiracy theory and fact these days is about 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, you're right. Okay, so you were talking the other day. We were talking, and the Epstein files just come out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Princess Diana, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson was named.
Yeah, and who didn't see that coming? Hello. We've been killing people since we put J.J. Astor on the Titanic, and now you're worried about it? All right, he's just the first one to get caught, okay? This has been going on since Ben Franklin took the 33rd degree Mason rights, okay? Like, this is not news. It's just news that we have news. Right. If there was Facebook 200 years ago, Ben Franklin would have been right there on the front cover of the Post. But, you know, they're just... We like to make sure that the narrative is going according to plan, and we'll get into that this episode. But my biggest fear is not Epstein. To me, Epstein is a patsy. You really think he's that important as a college dropout? That he's that smart that he did all this stuff by himself? I think everybody needs to be looking at Lex Wexner a little harder.
Yep.
Lex Wexner, who owns Limited 2, Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret, all Abercrombie and Fitch, all the sexualized millennium brands that told 14-year-olds to wear a push-up bra and thong panties. That's the person that's in charge. They sexualized us from the time that we were old enough to be in Who's Who in America and America's Top Model Search and Do You Want to Be in Teen Magazine? And they force fed us this. And so it became this body dysmorphia that we have to look like these Abercrombie and Fitch models, which were actually being groomed by a corporation on an island unbeknownst to us. But we all fit into it. We bought the subscriptions, we bought the underwear, we bought the push-up bras, and finally I went, y'all, I think I'm gonna go over here to Gretchen Wilson's redneck line at Walmart because I think it might be the same thing for half price. That's what she said, you know. And if truth is an art, you know, she's right. You can find the same thing at Walmart. But then again, Walmart's the people that are also shipping children in shift robes across the United States. So, you know, you just have to pick which devil you're going to dance with.
Well, they're all involved. I mean, no doubt. Of course, when it comes to, I don't know, I didn't think about a push-up bra. I might need one of them.
At this age, I'm wanting to go. You hit the wrong demographic. You should have been hitting 40 and up. Been like push-up. I just want a hold-up bra, you know. A stick 'em up bra, you know, tape them with some alligator clips and some duct tape and call it a day. But you know, these 14-year-olds that got skater bites, all they're going to do is just poke themselves in the eye if they trip. You know, they don't need a push-up bra.
Yeah, what was it Paul Thorne said about the push-up bra? What is it? Turns sitters into pointers or something like that? I can't remember.
It turns saints into sinners. I know that.
So how does Princess Diana, Elvis Presley, and Michael Jackson get tied into this?
Oh, here you go. I already know this part. Michael Jackson was trying to save the children. You can ask him and Chris Tucker. He built Neverland to save children. And they flipped it on him because he wouldn't take the bait. You can ask Tommy Mottola about that. You can ask Pete Lopez about that. Catherine Bach's husband. They were all hands in the pockets of Michael Jackson the last 5 years of his life, to the point where he was bumming gas money from his bodyguards. Wow. So Michael had absolutely no choice. They victimized him, parodied him, really. We didn't just cancel him, we parodied him. Yeah. And now 20 years after his death, we're still making jokes about how he touched little boys. No, we didn't. But he was a really good patsy to blame because all the attention was going to Abercrombie and Fitch and Old Navy and Victoria's Secret, the Angels show, the model show. And Michael's going, what? And they're like, no, you're in the way, though. Princess Di was going to whistleblow on her brother-in-law for being such a pervert. Killed her.
Yeah.
Elvis groomed 15-year-old children to be his wife. He had more girlfriends than Carter's got pills. You think that he didn't know what was going on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Robin Williams, Anthony Bourdain, Kate Spade. Every single death in the past 25 years needs to be reopened, including Kurt Cobain, because unless you know physics, it's real hard to shoot yourself in the back of the head with your toe and a shotgun from 4.5 foot away, Courtney.
Amen.
I'm with you on that.
Amen.
Yeah.
You keep me going, son. I don't have the rabbit hole. I have the whole dad burn garden. And at this point, I think that John Benet Ramsey is Erica Kirk. That's what I think.
Really? Yeah.
She's something, but she ain't said Jesus' name once since she started this parade tour. But she has went through the 5 stages of grief pretty well. You know, anger, denial, acceptance, book tour, presidential candidacy. I mean, like, she's following the 5 stages of grief. But I was at that funeral. Charlie wasn't. I was there. But I did have a kidney stone during that funeral, and I have this is medical fact. I have had that kidney stone longer than she was in mourning.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I'm like, it bothers me that she doesn't say the word Jesus. For her to be preaching for her husband, she sure don't know his boss. She keeps saying Lord. She says Lord a lot, but she's never said the word Jesus in public, and that worries me just a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, Charlie Kirk was something. I mean, honestly.
Charlie Kirk was a prophet, and you can't deny me on that. I think he was our version of Stephen from the Bible.
Yeah.
I think that we looked at an opportunity. There was a lot of discord. Same thing happened with JFK. Same thing happened with Martin Luther King. Same thing happened with Malcolm X. Same thing happened with Princess Di. You start talking too much about the things you shouldn't be talking about. We found a way to make you be quiet.
Mm-hmm. Well, it definitely worked. I mean, when they killed assassinated Charlie.
Oh, yeah, murdered, flat out murdered.
Yeah.
Riddle me this, Stephen. This has bothered me since the 10th day of September. Why did they not have an autopsy? Why did they not have a criminal report? Why did they not have a forensics team? Why did they pave over the criminal scene 24 hours later at the university? Why was all of this swept under the rug? And why is it that Erica Kirk forgave her husband's killer at the funeral and then 3 days later went full Jonesville massacre and go, you're going to be sorry? Well,
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah, what do you think Charlie Kirk was talking about? That got
in
him
general, or just when he died?
In general.
That got him in
In
trouble?
general, he was the first person in our generation to give a microphone and an audience to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He was the first person that said, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to discuss this with you and hear your side. And then this is how we're going to come to a compromise, which is how we go on, because everybody knows that the government wants to conquer by dividing. That's how you get it. You want to mess something up? You want to mess up a marriage? Go in there, mess with the wife, mess with the husband, and they'll take care of it themselves. You sow dissolution and it take care of itself. He wasn't sowing dissolution. He was trying to find compromise and be like, maybe they have something to say that we're just not listening to, and we might be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I will say for Charlie is that he did not deny his faith. He did not deny Christ. And that was why I wrote the song. I woke up that morning and I thought, I met Charlie one time 10 years ago at a rally, for 5 minutes. Like, we weren't buddies. I didn't send him Christmas cards or nothing. Like, we weren't familiar. We just enough to be like each other's stuff from 5 years ago on TikTok when we were all in quarantine and making sourdough, But, I watched I liked the way he presented things. He was never mean about it. It was never malicious in his response. He was always, I hear you, but this is what I think, and this is what you think, and this is how we can compromise.
Mm-hmm.
There's no ratings in that, Steve.
Right.
There's no pow factor in that. There's no, I can't believe that mic drop. There's none of those moments because he was really practicing the love of Christ and giving everybody a fair chance to speak. However, when you have your foot in that many college campuses all over the country, all over the world, and Netanyahu offers you $100 million, and you say, I really don't need that kind of money, because as somebody who's been in the entertainment industry for 27 years, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Sarah, I'm going to make you famous. Sarah, I'm going to make you a country star. Sarah, we're going to put you on the Opry. That's cool. What's the catch?
Yeah.
That's right.
So $100 million has quite a big catch on it, especially when you've got a foot into every single college campus in the United States. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying it just seems really weird that he started a huge revolution, and then we just shifted the moment. Hey, there's just a question. And, maybe you can help me with this, Mr. Malone, and you're pretty good at this. You're pretty well versed on history, and you see things for as they are. You don't really believe in conspiracies as much as proven fact. I've done my homework on you. I did a background check on all of y'all before I got in here. So just let's be real. Hello. Anyway, so riddle me this: when JFK got shot, did we swear in Jackie O as the new leader of the United States?
No, we did not.
Okay, just making sure. When Martin Luther King Jr. got killed, did we make Coretta Scott start leading the marches across the bridges?
No, we did not.
Oh, there you go. So I'm not understanding this wheel inheritance of power here, especially since the guy that's the CFO in charge was your ex-boyfriend. But we're not going to talk about that. That's fine. But the things that start to not. I've learned this from watching Judge Judy and just from living in the country music business. If you have a good memory and you tell the truth, you don't have to worry about as much.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
But if you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to hide. I've always said my life's an open Facebook, and at this point, I'm too old to deny anything. If I ain't done it, I might, but whatever. But I don't understand the diversion. I'm looking at the birdie going, Nancy Guthrie.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Prince Harry and Meghan Markle coming to help with the investigation of Nancy Guthrie in Arizona? Why? That'd be like my dad disappearing and Reverend Jesse Jackson being like, I'm on the way. And I'm like, but why? Are we friends? Like, do I know you?
Oh, it's spotlight.
Oh, well, he'll use it as an opportunity to pray. But I think that Harry's doing an opportunity to do a little damage control because his mother's dead. His brother's a dipshit. His stepmother has just been, thrown from the crown. As big as Charlie's ears are, he can't hear nothing that's going on in the royal kingdom. And then Andrew's over here going, I thought she was 17. And I'm like, that's still statutory, Andrew. And so you're looking at it going, maybe Di was like, I don't need to be a part of this. And they're like, okay.
You're out.
No problem.
Yeah,
We voted you off the island.
Yeah.
But what's really funny is the people that are in charge that are pulling the money behind the scenes. Just for instance, the Vietnam War was fought over a bet with Aristotle Onassis, right? Like that. Just go back and look at Project Mockingbird. Go back and look at MK Ultra. Go back and look at all the stuff that they said was malarkey. And now they're like, oh yeah, we've got aliens. We forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
We've become so desensitized to all of this. We're like, yeah, probably. Like no one cares.
Let's get a break right quick. We got to throw a break in here. If we don't, we'll get in trouble. He's hollering, snap, snap, snap. Hold on a minute. We got Sarah Beth Terry. Y'all need to go follow her on Facebook, and then that'll lead you to all her other platforms that she's got. And I guarantee she's got a thing she comes on about every day that you're going to absolutely love, with more conspiracy theories, truths, right?
Conspiracy actualists.
There you go.
Conspiracy actualists.
All right, folks. All righty. We're back with you, folks. We got Sarah Beth Terry on with us. I reckon we got Brad Alawine says, who is this lady? She's my spirit animal. There you go.
I love it. Sarah Beth Terry, just like in the Bible, has an H.com. You can find everything about it. I think there's even a cheese ball recipe on that website now. So my husband keeps it updated all the time.
There you go. Hey, let's go back to Epstein files. We were talking during the break, and that's some things we've covered. I mean, I don't know. It's absolutely the evil I mean, they're talking about cannibalism. And Packers even say they had a thing where they pulled the kids' teeth?
Well, they got the dental office. They've got the how many gallons of what was it, sulfuric acid?
5 drums of
sulfuric acid.
I mean, we all saw Breaking Bad. We know what it takes. But
That's what I said. I said I've watched enough Breaking Bad to know what that stuff does.
Truth in Art. There was a movie came out in 1997 called Conspiracy Theory with Julia Roberts and Mel Gibson. And every single thing that he says as a whatever, they kind of make fun of the whole movie. And we're looking at it not, I wasn't woke back in 97, as they say. But when I'm watching it now, 30 years later, going, they just gave us a blueprint. Like you watch this stuff, Conspiracy Theory, The Truman Show, like everything that we've watched as entertainment for the past 20 years. I'm like, they were really doing this stuff though.
Right.
Like,
Mel Gibson's come out, even talked about all the pedophiles.
And how many times have they called him crazy? How many times have they called Roseanne Barr crazy? How many times have they called Jim Carrey crazy for talking about this stuff?
Yeah, look up the Roseanne Barr interview. She literally said that. Like literally said they're eating kids. I mean,
they're eating kids. What do you think adrenochrome is? What do you think all this stem cell research came from? Why do you think that everybody looks like Ariana Grande right now? The human body is not built to consume that much blood. And when you do, you get an iron overdose, and there's too much iron in the blood, and it starts to wreak havoc on your system. They've done the studies on this about cannibalistic tribes. They've done the study on this about vampire cults and the Middle European countries. And I'm looking at it going, you can't. There's side effects to this, and now it's kind of like the proof is in the pudding. You just look at them and you're like, you don't look right.
Well,
like something's not right, And I'm looking at all this. For instance, I think that the Ozempic thing is a huge cover up for what they've been doing. Now everybody looks skinny. Now everybody looks gaunt. Now everybody's where they need to be.
But you can tell chicken necks.
Big pardon?
They got chicken necks. All of them's got a chicken.
Oh, every one of them. Every one of them. And I told them, I said, y'all wonder why I ain't taking that stuff. I said, I do that diet and exercise thing, and then my skin kind of goes where it's supposed to go, and I don't look like I'm a sugar glider fixing to take off. But you tend to look at some of these people, and I'm like, I didn't realize Thanksgiving was twice this year, and I'm thinking that you can't hide this. Like this, you can redo this down. You're going to have an overhaul. I mean, talk to Dolly. I mean, she was like, you're going to have to do the whole thing. You can't just paint the front door. You're going to have to put a new roof on that house too,
Pat's awful quiet today. What's wrong, Pat?
I'm just enjoying the show, Stephen.
It is a show. It is a show.
It is a show.
But here's the thing. Why are they not releasing all this stuff before?
Because the government would crumble like a candy, like a piece of cotton candy. It would absolutely dissolve into nothingness. And I'm looking at it going, yes, Trump's not the guy that you want him to be. He's the person that, we voted for. He's doing his job as a business person. I don't want to have a beer with him. I don't want to have Thanksgiving dinner with him. I want him to do his job. If at any point you look at the candidate and be like, I think I can be friends with them, vote for the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want them to be your friend. You want them to do their job. It's like those people that go into work and they're like, all my best friends are at work. I'm like, then you missed the point of getting a job.
Right.
I'm there to make money, not to make friends. If I want to make friends, I'll go to church, I'll go to school, I'll go to whatever. I'm not at work to make friends.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I just don't care if the government fails. I don't care if it falls apart. I'd like to
I don't let it burn. Hell, I don't care.
I'm broke, I'm poor. Let everybody be poor. That way there won't be no problems.
There's no problems. And my husband and I laugh about it. I raise chickens, which he, has a great deal of disdain for because he's a city boy. And he collects old money. Like we'll see a coin or, this is a 1918 silver. I'm like, I don't know what any of that means. Mm-hmm. But he's laughing. He said, this is the only thing that will be currency in about 3 or 4 more years. And I said, I disagree. I said, I think all them out there laying eggs will be the only currency in 3 or 4 more years.
And
you never know. But I mean, we're not preppers. We're just Appalachian. We've been through worse.
Yeah.
I lived through Depression era grandparents who saved every milk jug and used it up, wear it out, make do or do without. I lived with a 60s and 70s free love. Everybody's great. Love is happy generation who all looked at it and went, oh, shoulder pads and pantyhose. And you've got to get a job now because we can't stay home and vacuum and take fin anymore. Like we have to do stuff. Gloria Vanderbilt really screwed this. But now that my age is coming along, I'm like, we have to save this Reynolds wrap because we might need it again. But also, I'm going to go get a Starbucks coffee. Like we're in this weird, balance where I know how to survive. But at the same time, my neighbor who looked at me the other day before the snowstorm, she goes, they said this snowstorm's going to be like it was in 93. And I was like, yeah, probably. She goes, what happened in 93? She was born in 2001. And I was like, well, we had to walk uphill both ways, barefoot in the snow. I just took the opportunity, and I said, everybody was crazy. There was no toilet paper. We all wore masks. Wait, which one was that? Was that 03? That's 93. So we're all laughing. And she was like, what do I need? I was like, Jesus in a 9x13 casserole dish, and you should be fine, but
Man.
Pat, what do you think about it all? You think that we're headed to greener pastures, or you think that it's all going down and we're just rearranging patio furniture on the Titanic here?
I think some of us are headed to greener pastures. Yeah. Not all, but some.
Well, I mean, you just condensed all major world religions in one sentence, Pat. Some of us are going to get there and some ain't. Good luck.
There you go.
Jersey Dope says at the end of all empires, they sacrifice their kids. Look it up.
Yeah.
Well, we're about at the 400-year mark. We're at 250 right now. Rome fell after 400 years. Mesopotamia fell after 400 years. Babylon fell after 400 years. You just, you pay attention to the way that the world works. History does repeat itself. Mm-hmm. We are set to self-implode. We're 85 minutes from the doomsday clock, and we've got a guy who runs a TV show as the president. So, stranger things have happened, And say what you want about Donald Trump, he was the only grown-up to help Kevin McAllister find the Plaza lobby in that entire movie. We were talking about this the other day. I said he's the only grown-up in Home Alone 2 Lost in New York who helped Kevin McAllister find the lobby of the Plaza Hotel. Everybody else just ignored him that whole movie or tried to kill him. And Donald Trump's like, it's right over there. I was like, even if he does nothing else, that poor child was by himself in New York, But
well, I think it's left and right. Okay, you got the left, the liberals, and the conservatives. We got the big fight going on with that. And I think the liberals are trying to take over the world. I think of the New World Order because they would depend on the government for everything they got. I mean, they're talking socialism and communism and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I think that leans in on that a lot.
I think that you're correct. And I think that it leans both ways. I think that they've been in control for a long time. And now we're starting to see who's behind the curtain. It's kind of like that mid-part during Wizard of Oz where Dorothy's like, wait. I know this guy. He tried to sell me a hot dog on the side of the road. Like, that's where we are right now. Is I'm like, and then, we've got all these right-wing conservative preppers. And it's like I always say, I'm right-wing conservative, but I'm not overzealous. I'm not, what I'm saying? Like, there's extremes in every possible factor. Sure. However, I feel like all these people who are like, we're gonna have to prep up, we're gonna have to load up, we have to get our ammo, get our guns, we're ready when whatever happens. If they call this, we're ready. And I'm like, you're the troops that they've got in place. You realize that, right?
Yes.
You just volunteered you drafted yourself into this war already. No matter what happens, you're waiting for it. You're preparing for it. So I'm looking at it from both sides of the aisle going, truly, I'm more of an independent. I'm a pot smoking Christian. So I don't know what that puts me on the voting demographic, but God said, take thee of every plant except these two, and they couldn't even get that right. So I'm looking at it going, all I want is for my gay neighbors to grow their weed with AR-15s and everybody leave them alone. I don't understand what the big deal is. So I don't give a damn who you sleep with, who you vote for, and who you pray to is really not my business and never has been part of the common vernacular until the last 15 or 20 years. It was always considered poor etiquette. And now that's our signifying personality traits.
Right.
The things we weren't allowed to talk about in public are now, this is who I sleep with, this is who I vote for, this is who I pray to. And I'm like, that's none of my business.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not my personality. That's not, I don't identify myself by who's in my bedroom and who's at church on Sunday. I don't do that,
It's on their social media profiles. Like your pronouns are there.
Listen, them pronouns, schmonouns. Y'all are having a hard time with adjectives and verbs. Let's get the other 8 parts of speech down before you start making. I identify as a threat. My pronouns are try and me. How about that? My mother identifies as late. Her pronouns are almost and there.
I don't know pronouns. I'm the she, the. Yeah. What are they?
You.
My husband says that he identifies as he, Hall.
There you go.
That's his pronouns. It's he and Hall.
Now we got a former President Obama back in the news saying that UFOs are real. Where's that coming from?
He finally found the book that they released 18 years ago when he was president. They're like, we already told you this, but you were too busy trying to take ketchup out of the schools and get rid of fat kids. But, whatever.
Oh, man, that was a disaster.
That was the biggest problem of the entire Obama generation is we had to get ketchup out of the schoolrooms.
Yeah. That is it. Yeah, and the biscuits. They burnt the biscuits.
And now, Robert Kennedy Jr., he's saying that we should have all kinds of milk. And I was like, finally, that's how you knew a boy liked you in elementary school, is if he brought you a chocolate milk. That opportunity wasn't there for the last 5 years.
That's exactly right.
How am I going to get to know the lunch lady if I can open it myself?
Yeah.
You know, you don't give children the opportunity to figure out problems. You just solve them for them before you give them to them. And then you wonder why they get to college and can't read. You wonder why they get their first job and can't count change. You wonder why they got rid of pennies. Are you serious? It had nothing to do with the copper. Had everything to do with the No Child Left Behind.
Yeah.
They're like 42 minus 5 is...
Yeah,
I'm going to give you a quarterback. I'm like, that's... all right, thank you. You know, whatever.
Well, my grandmother was a school teacher, visiting school teacher, first one we had here. And if I opened back, calculators come out. We thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And she would have a fit if you opened a calculator.
Yeah.
You can't use that. You're not going to have a calculator everywhere you go.
Oh, we showed them, didn't we?
I mean, honestly, if they don't have it wrote on the register, they don't know what change to give you now. Honestly.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Yeah. That's crazy. But I don't know. I guess that's where we're at. Let's jump to one more break right quick if you don't care, girl. And I have got all kinds I love this lady.
Yeah.
All these folks, man, I ain't no doubt. And this is Sarah Beth Terry. Y'all go to her Facebook page and that'll link you to all of her social media. And this is her. This is Sarah Beth. This is not an act. This is her. And we get back. I want to know what she names her chickens. She's got very distinct chickens. I want to ask about that when we get back on the other side. All righty, we're back with you, Sarah Beth Terry, with us all the way from. Are you in Nashville? Or are you in Kentucky? Or where are you?
I'm in West by God, Virginia this morning.
Okay, West Virginia. Okay,
we have a place here, and we have a place in Kentucky that had forever, and then we have a little place in Nashville. So we keep 65 and 64 pretty much. We're the ones that's like, hey, Sean Duffy, you need to fix my marker 55. You know, like there's things about being on Fox and Friends. They become your friends. I'm like Sean Duffy, I'm gonna be calling you now. And he was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. How was that? Did you enjoy that?
Listen, that was an experience. We flew in to Phoenix about midnight. I had to be in makeup at 2:30 in the morning, so I just went straight to makeup. I'd been awake for about 2 days. And I get there, and this little bebopper come over at me, and he goes, okay, hair and makeup. I went, bup. I said, who are you? Where are you from? And what's your sexual orientation? He went,
who'd you go for?
He goes, I'm Eddie. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I'm queer as a $3 bill. Why? I said, honey, do you think I'm gonna let a straight man touch this hair before I'm on television? come on, Eddie. So, but we had a big time, and for what it was there for, they were incredibly nice, incredibly they were the nicest bunch of people I've ever worked with. And the fact that it was so somber, the event that we were there for, but they were still asking like, okay, what's going on in West Virginia with the weather? How's things up there? How's that water situation? Like they're still like keeping the conversation open. And my favorite part about the whole thing is like, not only the experience and getting to be a part of that and being part of the fabric of that history, but now having known those people like Matt Finn, he's an anchor on Fox News. I have his phone number now. So if I see him reporting, I'll be like, hey, good reporting. I don't really like that shirt though.
Yeah.
And I'll watch him go, we'll be right back. And then I'll look him looking on his phone. He'll go, and I'm like, is this what Trump feels like? I have so much power. Like, it's just like it's so crazy. I'm like, I also hate the Cracker Barrel sign. Sin. So, you never know. But I mean, it's just this weird amount of like, there's so many more people connected than you think. And we were all talking about this, especially in the business, in the industry. And I said, you think that Hollywood's the only ones on this list?
No.
I'm waiting for it to hit Nashville wide open because I've got my bets placed. I've been in a lot of rooms over the past 27 years that I'm like, I don't think this is how you get a record deal. But what do I know? I mean, there's a reason I'm 42 and still sitting on a porch in West Virginia and not at the Opry. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh Lord, that Like Charlie song, man, that is absolutely beautiful. Yeah. I mean,
thank you. I appreciate that. The Lord wrote that. I was just lucky enough to be here with a guitar when he said, hey, sit down for a second.
Well, now, have you got a lot of plays on that?
That's actually, we charted on Billboard with that one. So I was really excited about that. It's still one of my top songs on iTunes, and we're really pleased with that. And everybody got a little sideways about the profits of that song. And I said, I wasn't going to send it to Turning Point. I'm not sending it to Erica. I set up a fund called the Red, White, and Blueberry. I didn't set it up. Somebody else did. I'm involved with it. And the kids love blueberries. Erica and Charlie's kids love blueberries. Mm-hmm. So that's their mission, is to make sure those kids have blueberries from now on.
Right.
From now, because that's what they think their daddy is doing is he's gone to go get blueberries with Jesus. So, and that was the story she told them, and that's the story that was perpetuated to us. But all of us who were farmers and mamas, and we were like, let's just make sure they get fruit. Let's make sure that that's like. So the money from the Charlie song, everything that we've made royalty wise goes right back into Red, White, and Blueberries to make sure that those kids like still know daddy's watching them, like we're sending them blueberries, so, and it's a small piece. I know that everybody's like, well, there's better stuff to spend money. Hope in this day and age is perhaps the most important commodity that we can't sell. So if I'm looking at it going, if I give that child hope, and they can get through this horrible tragedy a little easier than us watching JFK Jr. salute his daddy's casket on national television in 1963. I'm looking at it going, we don't need to exploit these children like we did everybody else. Princess Di, William and Harry, we had them on every single page. Robin Williams died, we had their kids on every single page. Michael Jackson dies. Where's Blanket? Where's Paris? No.
Mhm.
I refuse to believe that these children are going to be exploited like that, like they've exploited every other child that we've ever had. So my contribution is if I can do one thing to make that child have hope,
Right.
and the situation that they're in, then that's really what we're here for as Christians, is to give each other love, lift each other up, and try to get each other hope, that we all get faith, hope, and love. I mean, the Lord preached on this extensively, and the greatest of these is love.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I stand on the. I don't get in the political of it. I think that Erica's probably not. She didn't handle it like I would have, but until you're in that situation and have that kind of money thrown at you, then what you don't know what you're going to do. But
I love Charlie Kirk. I watched him every time a new video dropped. I was there.
I enjoyed. He was so incredibly articulate and so well read that it was really hard to stump him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like. In order to be a positive force in this world, you have to be well educated on both sides of the aisle. You have to be well read. You have to know words. You have to know parts of speech. You have to know pronouns and things like that. But also in that education, you have to have some kind of moral compass. You have to have some kind of higher power to answer to, because you got to serve somebody.
Right.
So since this tragedy has kind of lit a revival under America, and it's kind of dampened down since the fall, but I think that we're going to have a resurgence. Everybody's looking, going, who's the false prophet? Who's the wolf? Who's the wolf in the sheep's herd? I was like, y'all are looking at the wolves. You're not looking at the shepherd. The shepherd's the one selling the sheep. The shepherd's the one that's killing the sheep. The shepherd's the one that's eating the sheep. You're watching for the wrong enemy.
Right.
So that's where I'm at right now is most people have a podium. Some people have a pulpit. I have a porch and a pack of smokes, and some people like the way I talk. So I try to dilute it to where I understand it, but you also get the facts of it without being so up in arms about it. I don't want to get in I like to stay in my lane. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a politician. I'm a comedian and a songwriter.
Right.
However, because of that, I have a bigger audience and a bigger stage than most people who don't. So I try to use it for the betterment of the kingdom. I try to use it for the betterment of our country, and I try to use it for the betterment of humankind. And sometimes that truth hurts, but if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory.
There you go. I'm with you 100%.
You said something about my chickens earlier, and I got digressed. I'm so
I
sorry.
did too. She has got famous chickens. Tell us about her chickens right quick.
Oh, my Lord. Okay, so the whole chicken thing started, during COVID, because everybody had a hobby. People were making sourdough, and people were like, I'm going to write a letter to everybody in the phone book. I'm like, I'm just going to raise chickens. I'm going to stay outside. And I started naming them after all my friends in Nashville because I didn't get to see them. I had, Gretchen Wilson. I had Loretta Hen. I had Tanya Clucker. I had all kinds. Well, when they found out that they had chickens named after them, they started sending me gift cards, Steve, like to Rural King and Tractor Supply. Here's $20 for corn, or here's $20 for feed. And I'm like,
It's awesome.
and my Sally Struthers, like for 15 cents a day, you can keep food in this chicken's belly and keep him out of mine. So I had one named Daryl Worley, and it looked just like Daryl Worley. Had the same beard and everything. Big Eric on it. Well, he would send $15-$20 every couple months when he come home. He's like, how's my yard bird? How's my bird? I was like, I love that they're all in, like they're watching my Facebook. Like, where's my bird? Well, I run into Daryl about 6-8 months ago, and he said, Sarah, how's my bird? I went, oh, Daryl, honey, she died. He goes, what happened? I said, Winona ate her. He goes, the singer? And I said, no, my dog, Winona. We're all named after somebody famous up here. And he goes, oh, I forgot. He said, so what's going on the hill? And I said, Daryl, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
I said, Roy Clark has done plucked all his own tail feathers out again. I said, Willie Nelson is out there in the weeds, can't keep time for nothing. I said, you know, Marty Stewart and Ricky Skaggs do not get along because Ricky's so big and Marty's so little. I said, you know, I can't find Shania, and I'm pretty sure Emma Lou has flown the coop twice this week, and Tyler Childers is a dipstick. He said, you have a chicken named Tyler Childers? I said, no, why?
Do you have a Reba McIntyre?
My God, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. No, but I do have a cat named Conway Kitty.
Oh, Lord, that is so funny.
And I wish I was making that up, but that's a true story. And they're all still in the coop. I've got 4 turkeys, 6 ducks, and 52 chickens right now, and they're all laying. So it's just like an Easter egg hunt all the time because the turkeys and the ducks just kind of lay where they want to. And I'm like, there's an egg. There's another egg.
Yeah.
You know, we wonder when Jesus was like, okay, I died and I came back and now everybody follows me. We're going to celebrate my resurrection every year. And they're like, Lord, how do we celebrate that? And he's like, eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs. Let's just get a bunch of eggs and color them, and we'll just throw them out in the middle of the yard, and we'll have kids go chase them. That seems to signify my sacrifice pretty good. Really? And if you find a rabbit, get in its lap and take a picture with it. What? What?
An egg-laying rabbit.
That's a Cadbury bunny, and I already know all about that.
Oh,
Nobody knows Easter like Cadbury, you know. But,
of course, I love Cadbury eggs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're good.
dude, I'm such a Cadbury egg snob that my mother actually ordered 2 dozen Cadbury eggs off Amazon and put them in my Christmas stocking. That's my favorite candy of all time. I keep them in the deep freeze. I have one a week.
There you go. Hey, we got to do the question. Away, Becky.
RJ's Fine Cigars.
All
Giving away
right.
a $15 gift certificate. Go over there and get you some cigars and cigar accessories at RJ's.
In honor of Cigarette Mama.
There you go. If you ain't
I'm
over
double fisting today.
If you ain't over 14, you can't. How old 14 is it before you smoke cigars?
Me personally, I was like 9, but
Oh, okay.
whatever.
What's the question, Pat?
Question for President's Day is which U.S. president holds the record for most appearances on the cover of Time magazine?
All right, give us a call, 706-379-9770.
I'm going to say Abraham Lincoln.
There you go. We'll be back on the other side. All righty, we're back. We don't have a caller. We ain't got no smokers out there. I don't know what's going on with that. If you can tell us who was on the cover of the Rolling. What was the question again, Pat?
Which U.S. president holds the record for appearing on the cover of Time magazine the most?
All right, give us a call, 706-379-9770. Hey, I got this post yesterday. Anthony Smith. I know you know Anthony Smith, the songwriter.
Very well. I've written with him a couple times.
Rappers shouldn't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Is Iron Maiden or Led Zeppelin in the Rappers Hall of Fame? What do you think?
Interesting point.
I didn't even know they had a Rappers Hall of Fame.
I think that sounds a lot like jealousy because no one asked him to be in the Rappers Hall of Fame is what I think that sounds like. But, you know, no one bitched when Dolly got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, no one bitched when we added a couple people to the Country Music Hall of Fame. What does it matter? As long as they're getting noticed for their work, it shouldn't matter who's listening to it or what demographic it's in. If music is music, it's kind of this whole AI BS that everybody's knee-jerking about. Real songs will still be real songs. I don't care if Carrie Underwood's singing it, Craig Morgan's singing it, or a computer singing it. The point is that the song's getting heard.
Right.
And we're too worried about who's singing it to really realize what they're singing. It's like the people that quote the Bible and don't know the author. You know, I'm like, you're missing the forest for the trees here, you know?
Oh, I love songwriters, man. I'll just tell you, I just absolutely love songwriters.
I'm glad somebody does because we're a rare breed.
I've been going up there to, Gary's got that thing at the Mule House. I've been going.
Oh, I know Gary very well. I was going to be on that one in November, and our schedules were weird, and we ended up missing each other. But I think we're going to try to get together later this spring.
Good.
Yeah, I'm coming. I've been coming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go this next
Well,
week.
he'll be really jealous to know that I just got a Jeff and Sherry Easter cut this morning. I'll be like, I'm coming for your awards, G-Chap. Watch out. You know? I'm coming for you. You know, Vince ain't the only one that's snooping around your house. But anyway, I love him. I love him so much. And I was like, you're the only man in Nashville who has Vince Gill as a husband-in-law. How are you pissed right now? Like, what are you mad about, you know?
Yep.
But I love him so good. And I told him when I first met him, I really liked his book, that 5 Love Languages. And he was like, that's wrong, Gary Chapman. It's like, that book did wonders for my marriage. Did it work on your marriage? He's like, I was like, oh, wrong guy. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Oh Lord.
Miss Goosey.
We're about to run out of time. Sarah Beth Terry, go to Facebook.
Yeah.
You've got everything on Facebook, links to everything that you've got.
Well, I hope you'll have me back. I've enjoyed visiting with y'all very much. Patrick, Stephen, and Lupo.
Hey, we've got all these comments coming in, and I think we're going to have to change the name to the Sarah Beth Terry Show instead of the morning
Yeah,
news.
I think
Sounds
so.
like they're like,
Sorry, that tends to what happens when people invite me on. It's the Sarah Beth Terry Show. You know, but whatever.
we'll have to get a new intro. That's all right. They say, you've heard them folks. If I get fired here, this place will shut down. That's proof. If I fire me,
Listen, I hope you'll have me back. This might be, a repeat offense. I don't know how I'll do in Georgia. I know Kentucky and Appalachia usually likes me pretty good, but further south they go, I talk too fast, so I got to slow her down.
We're in the Appalachian Mountains, girls. We're right here at home.
Well, hey, we're just on the same mountain, different hollers. What I look at,
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Luckily, we're in the mountains of Georgia. It is absolutely beautiful here. We're going to get.
Well, you all find me a place to come pick and grin down there, and I'll come do this in person sometime.
I'm working on that.
I just need a place to sing and a place to smoke, and not necessarily in that order.
Yeah,
I know just the place.
and then
Lupo make it happen, and you could probably negotiate a contract or two with your background.
On it.
And Packy's got this garden in his basement. You ought to see it. It's amazing.
Do you also have one in your basement? You got to get them grow lights hung right underneath the HVAC.
Hang upside down.
Shut
What's
up,
that
Steven.
about?
If you have any access to a bat cave, that'll help you too. Just from one gardener to the other, That guano does wonders for the flowers. That's just
Packy's all excited
Good
now.
fertilizer.
All right, we're out of here. Sarah Beth, thank you so much. We love
love you guys. Thank you again.
Yeah, go check out Sarah Beth Terry on Facebook, and that'll take you to all her stuff. And we need to have her back. You coming back, man? I'll have her back next Monday if you'll come. So
I'll be here.
All right,
It's
we're out here.
President's Day.
Oh, there you go. Y'all have a good day.